You've probably heard it 1,000 times, haven't you? That piece of career wisdom, always ask for feedback. It's everywhere.
It really is, like gospel and professional development guides.
Exactly. But what if maybe, just maybe, that advice is actually doing more harm than good? Could it be steering you wrong?
Well, that's a fascinating question, and it brings us right to something we call the feedback paradox.
Okay, the feedback paradox. Tell me more.
So the very thing that makes feedback seem valuable, getting someone else's unique perspective,
Right.
that's also what limits its usefulness because it's always, always filtered through their own subjective lens, their personal view. It's not like objective truths.
Okay, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword then.
Precisely. And that's really what we want to unpack in this deep dive. Why traditional feedback, even advice given with the best intentions, often falls short.
And more importantly, how you can find smarter ways to gather insights that actually fuel your growth. We're drawing from beyond feedback, strategic growth for professionals, and also the feedback paradox, navigating subjectivity in professional growth.
Two really great sources for this topic.
Definitely. So, okay, if this advice is so common, why the skepticism? Let's get into those hidden hurdles of feedback. What really jumped out at me was the role of unconscious bias. It seems huge.
Oh, it's massive.
Mhm.
Think about it. Research shows that things like your gender, your age, race, even something as random as whether the feedback giver had their morning coffee.
Seriously, coffee?
Well, maybe not just coffee, but their mood, certainly.
Mm.
It can subtly color how they assess you. And the sources point out a classic example. Women often get feedback about their personality, like you're too aggressive or you should smile more.
Vague stuff.
Exactly. Whereas men tend to get more task-oriented feedback, which is actually useful for development.
Yeah.
So that personality feedback, it's not just unfair, it's often actively misleading, doesn't help you improve.
And it gets even trickier, doesn't it? Because our own minds play tricks on us, too. There's this thing called the memory trap.
Right. Human memory is, well, it's not a perfect recording. Not at all.
So when someone gives you feedback on something from months ago,
They're not playing back a video. They're reconstructing that memory. And that reconstruction is heavily influenced by their current mood, their recent interactions with you, maybe even things totally unrelated.
wow, okay. And what about getting feedback from the same people all the time?
That leads to another issue, the echo chamber effect. If you only hear from the same few sources, their perceptions, their biases just get reinforced.
So they keep seeing you the way they've always seen you.
Pretty much. It creates this echo chamber that confirms what they already think. And that makes it incredibly hard for you to break out of a certain professional box, even if you've genuinely changed or developed new skills. It's confirmation bias in action.
And it's not just feedback, right? Advice can be problematic, too. The advice paradox.
Yeah, that's another layer. Advice often reflects the giver's own path, their own successes and failures, which might be totally irrelevant to your situation, your skills, your context.
So they're basically telling you what worked for them.
Often, yes. And they tend to oversimplify things. Plus, sometimes, maybe even unconsciously, the advice given might serve to kind of maintain the status quo, the existing systems, rather than empowering you to really shake things up or grow in a new direction.
Okay, so traditional feedback is biased, memory is unreliable, echo chambers form, and advice is often too personal or simplistic. It sounds a bit bleak.
It can seem that way, but here's the pivot. The solution isn't to stop seeking input altogether. It's about moving beyond that general subjective feedback and advice
Towards what then?
towards specific, actionable information. The goal is to gather intelligence, really, to take control and ask questions that get you objective data, not just opinions.
Okay, so we need concrete alternatives. How do we shift from that fuzzy, how am I doing question?
Well, instead of asking for opinions, you aim for objective, measurable, future-focused insights.
Give me some examples.
Okay, so instead of, how am I doing? Yeah, try asking for specific examples. Could you walk me through a situation where you thought my approach worked really well?
Okay, more concrete.
Or seek data-driven insights. Looking at the metrics for that last project, what specific results stand out to you as indicating success or areas for improvement? You're asking about the data, not just their feeling.
That takes a personal judgment out of it more.
Exactly. It helps you understand what actually works systematically. This gets into what one source calls success pattern analysis, looking for the repeatable actions that lead to good outcomes.
Like finding the recipe.
Kind of, yeah. Or understanding decision-making frameworks. How do successful people or teams actually approach these kinds of problems? What's their process? You learn the blueprint, not just get a grade.
That makes sense. What about looking ahead?
Great point. Ask future-focused questions. What new skills or trends do you see becoming really critical in our field over the next couple of years?
Or maybe process-oriented queries, like how could we make this workflow more efficient and what role could I play in that?
Yes. Or even asking about resources. What new technologies are really changing the game in our area? Or scenario-based questions. How have we tackled similar challenges on other projects?
So it becomes less about me and my performance and more about the system, the future, the collective approach.
Precisely. You're gathering intelligence about what works, about future needs, about processes. It's about strategic information gathering, not just personal assessment. Things like mapping stakeholder perspectives, identifying knowledge gaps, analyzing industry trends, it's broader.
Okay, so wrapping this up then, it sounds like your career growth really deserves more than just relying on opinions, which might be biased anyway.
Absolutely. There's a more strategic, almost evidence-based approach. You need to be the detective gathering clues for your own development.
A much more proactive stance.
Yeah, definitely. And that leads us to a final thought for you, the listener, to consider.
Okay, let's hear it.
What specific, actionable question will you ask the next time you need insights for your professional growth? A question that moves you firmly beyond just asking for simple feedback.